Veterans can be recalled for service until they are 65 under new measures. The changes will be in effect from spring 2027, but won't apply to those who've already left unless they opt in. Well, thank Christ for that, eh? It's unbelievable. The geriatrics are going to go to war, are they? Marvellous idea. Captain Mannering was a comedy character that's supposed to be real life. Also, before I get going, let's quickly thank Let's Tab 59 for providing me with the thumbnail. He's got a great channel. I do like listening to him talk and walk, and he seems like a nice fella. Obviously, the reason I use it for the thumbnail is because I was going to use AI to generate me a geriatric soldier with his beret on, looking like he's ready for war. But Let's Tab 59 was good enough to provide me one by just, screen capping him, because I'm too old to be going to war. He's perfect. Geriatric bloke who looks like shite, who definitely shouldn't be going over the top. So thanks to him for providing me with the thumbnail, and I'm sure he doesn't mind the gentle ribbon. Let's read the story, shall we? Right then, this is going to be brilliant. I love this. I love it. Fantastic idea. Whip the old boys into shape. They can't talk the collection of degenerate foreign men into fighting for them. Nobody wants to join up, especially none of the natives, because we've been told for the last 25 years that we don't matter, they don't care about us. That's why 60% of black kids on free school meals and 70% of Indian and Pakistani kids on free school meals, they get to go to university. But Dave, the council estate lad, from 30 generations of English kids who lives on a council estate, he doesn't get to go to university because he's a serf, he's a second-class citizen. Everybody in the Houses of Parliament and the House Lords hates him, so the people will not fight for them. So this is the Hail Mary. The Hail Mary is, what we'll do is then, we'll just force all the old veterans to fight for us. They're patriotic, aren't they? No, androgynous android, we aren't. I'd rather fight, at this point, if I had to choose between Jerry Adams and Keir Starmer, I think I'd be into a pirate. 'Tis time for some violence, is my response to you, Mr. Starmer. You rat bastard. You've got no chance. You've got about as much chance of talking old patriotic veterans into fighting for the current shower that runs the UK. You've got about as much chance of that as I have of Angelina Jolie humming the national anthem with my balls in her mouth this Saturday night. So it's not happening. It's not happening. However, out of morbid curiosity, I'll read the story anyway for a laugh. Start with a nice patriotic picture. Yeah, all them lads are too young and too white. We want a few morbidly obese, howling black lesbians in wheelchairs in that lineup, don't we? And then the rest of them can be, 60 plus. It'll work great. It'll work great. That's the whitest picture I've ever seen. So in fact, I think Sky News has never published a photo in the last 10 years with 30 blokes on screen and they've all been white. But they'll do it now. Now they need someone to bleed to death in a foreign field for the globalist sociopaths, won't they? It's transparent. It's transparent what they're doing. Old veterans will be liable to be recalled for service under new measures. Making Britain more prepared for war. What, am I going to go over the top with a drip on wheels behind me, am I? How fast do you think blokes with artificial hips can run? Sky News, what are you talking about? Geriatrics are not prepared for war. That's how it works. That's why the standard career is 22 years, because you joined at 18, you leave when you're 40, and all is right with the world, you absolute gimps. They said they're going to raise the maximum age at which veterans can be recalled from 55 to 65 and make it easy to mobilise them in a crisis. Well, good luck, lads, good luck. It doesn't matter how many strokes of the pen you use or what legislation the oily lawyers that run the country pass. You will not be able to prise me off the bar to get me back into a uniform. So good luck. Good luck. I'll be like a limpet attached to the bar as 10 MPs tase me and try to get me into a van. And if they do get me into a van, I'll put my thumb firmly up my arse and refuse to soldier. How's about that then? I'd rather break rocks in a prison than get a single bead of sweat break out on my head fighting for the treacherous vermin that run the United Kingdom. That's that. It's been upended. The system is broken. It's collapsed. And now the treacherous, treasonous snakes that run the show are going to call people like me and thee and all the old blokes who served the country with distinction for decades, for generations in some cases, they're going to call us the traitors and they're the patriots. You couldn't make it up, could you? Well, you couldn't. But it's a reality now. It's designed to increase the size of the strategic reserve, which consists of the ex-regular reserve, former service personnel who are still liable for military service. I'm liable for now, lads. I'm liable for now. If you couldn't get Joe Glenton to go to war, you ain't getting me to go to war. So you can suck my stump, Mr. Prime Minister, sir. 95,000 people are currently estimated to be liable for recall, but the MOD does not publish data on the reserve. Of course they don't. Of course they don't. Does it get in the way of some lies, does it? Despicable, treacherous dog Paul Griffiths, the commander of the Standing Joint Command, tasked with ensuring the UK is ready for combat, said the reforms to the Strategic Reserve would allow the armed forces to mobilise the wealth of expertise of veterans. No, when it matters most. No. Mobilise the oldest, crustiest, enlarged prostatist fuckers on planet Earth. That's what it's allowing you to mobilise. It's a ludicrous idea. It's preposterous. And you're doing it because the new Britons won't fight for you. But because you took advantage of us and took us for granted for 30 years, the old ones won't either. So jog on, boys. Jog on. I told you this. 12 years I voted Conservative. I voted for Boris Johnson and he promised to get immigration under control. And what did he do? He imported 2 million Afghans. Thanks very much. They were sending us to fight in Afghanistan and Iraq. And while we were doing it, they were importing Afghans and Iraqis to finger our kids. So if you excuse me, I'll pass on this scenario. Thanks all the same, chaps. And good luck getting Idris Elba and Kunta Kinte and Umbutu Umbueto to put on a uniform. The good news is they'll self-deport because they're all going to piss off the second the British government tries to get them in to fight for them. The only people that have got an actual dog in the hunt are the actual British, and that's people who look like me. I fully support these measures. Yeah, you do, because your kids won't be fighting in it, will you? Your kids won't be fighting in it. You just want to hoover up all the old crusties. The changes will be in effect from spring 2027, but will not apply to those. Course they won't. They won't change that on the drop of a hat, will they? When they realise that nobody's interested, they're going to be getting you into the back of the van with a taser. I'm telling you. Do you honestly think this little rat's going to keep his word? He's a professional liar. He's a better liar than Dr. Harold Shipman, and he was quite proficient at the task. But he's got nothing on Keir Starmer. The government is also considering ways of increasing recruitment with its military gap year scheme for under 25 set to open in March, aimed at getting more teenagers. It's not happening. Anyway, so that's that. Let me sum up. He took the piss out of us for too long, gentlemen. Like I said, Boris Johnson, he took his base for granted. He did the opposite of what the wise orange one across the pond did. He did the exact opposite. He didn't play to his base. He took his base for granted. He spat in the faces and then he pandered to the woke for the entirety of his premiership, just like David Cameron, Rishi Sunak, Liz Truss, Nick Clegg, and every other knobhead that ran the UK in the last 20 years. And as a result, finally, after 20 years, the normies have switched onto the fact. The penny's dropped, and we realise that you lot are openly hostile traitors who hold the working classes, the majority of the country, with raw contempt and hatred. So, we are repaying you in kind. We won't fight for you. Our kids won't fight for you. Nobody with any sense will ever fight for you. And good luck recruiting Jamaican yardies to fill the ranks of the British Army, you morons. All right, that's me summing up. I'm doing a live in a bit, so I'll see you all then. Leave a comment down below if you can be asked, and I'll talk to you soon. Toodle pip. Cheers.